Who doesn't love a one pot wonder? I definitely do. I do them all the time. I'm always looking for different flavors to put into things, but it's also great to clean out your veggie bin just before you're ready to load up at the markets or at the supermarket, wherever you get your veggies from. So if you want to see a recipe that's super simple, super tasty, and super nutritious, then hang around. And if you like what you see, then tap subscribe and sign up for my newsletters so you get my new recipes as I drop them in. So what I am making you today is my version of San Choy Bao. What is that? Asian flavored mince, veggies, Asian sauce, served in a lettuce cup. That is it. Super fun to eat with your hands. Love eating with the hands and having it slop around. Everyone thinks it's kind of fun. You can use any mince you like. I've got beef today because that's all the butcher had. Chicken, pork, I think traditionally it's pork. So dice up your veggies really small so that you can cook them quick and nobody can pick out that you snuck mushrooms in when no one likes mushrooms. That's the secret. Once you get the flavors in there, no one will be able to taste anything. I use the Thermomix to blitz everything up. You could use a food processor or do it the old-fashioned way and chop it with a knife. But this way you get it really small and it's just obliterated. It means you can get more in without anyone really noticing. So I'm going to quickly do this and not bore you with the details. First things first, let's get the meat in the pot frying off while I chop the veggies. Forgot that bit. Tools of the trade. Big, heavy cast iron pots. They have a nice even temperature. Things don't tend to burn as much. It's best to cook in a medium heat. I turn it up for a little while when I am first putting cold meat in the pot. Turn it up for a little bit, then turn it down and let it just sizzle away while you chop your veggies and get everything else organized. So I have 2 cast iron pots that are a nice size so that I can have lots on the go at once. It also makes having 2 bigger pots like this as opposed to a frying pan means I can splash around in there and not have it fall out. So I'm going to pop those both on. This one for the veggies down low because I'm going to just add the veggies as I go, but I don't want it getting too hot. Way too much talking. Too much talking, not enough doing. Onions. I use coconut oil. You could use ghee, a bit of lard, animal fat, anything like that. They're your best frying oils. It's about a teaspoon. If the pan dries out, add a little more. I even blitz up my broccoli so nobody can complain that they've just got a big mouthful of broccoli. Like, believe me, it is a thing. Surely we've all got kids that complain about these things. And my kids are not kids anymore. They are adults, pretty much. But they prefer to not be eating too many veggies. So with the stalk of the broccoli, just trim the sides of it because that can be a little tough. And toss that in the bucket for the worms or your compost. But the stalk is completely edible, so don't waste it. I have a zucchini and a chili. Oh, the worms don't like chilies. A capsicum. Okay, I can hear that's ready to go. Let's get the onions in there. All chopped up, really little in there, but look at that beautiful colour that is going to go through the veg. Oh no, look, there's my capsicum. Might have to do him separately. Maybe I'll even put the ginger in as well. And some garlic. Saves me chopping it. Let's blitz that. So browning off the mince does take a little while. It's a little, you don't want to burn it. So you just kind of need to have other stuff to do while you're, oh shit, those chilies didn't chop up very well. That's all right. So that's why it's good to have these veggies cooking on the side. So look at that beautiful colour there, if you can see that. There's beautiful colours in there. So you don't have to cook this down heaps. Depends on the flavour you're after. So while that's simmering away and frying off, I'm going to make up the sauce, which is the flavourings that we're going to put in once these two are cooked in together, and then the sauce on top, whiz it round until it's warm and it's done. I'm going to turn this pot off because I'm happy with how cooked those veggies are now. So it depends what you like. If you like fish sauce and those sort of flavours, you can add fish sauce for your seasoning. Tamari is a great seasoning. It is a wheat-free soy sauce. Check the ingredients to make sure it definitely is and they haven't snuck some wheat in there. And organic means it's not genetically modified, it's not been sprayed at all. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon. For a kilo of meat, I'll start with a tablespoon, but I may add some more later. I love fish sauce, so I sometimes add a little fish sauce in there. So a little bit of tomato paste or tinned tomatoes, you could puree a little bit of that. I will start with a tablespoon. Again, you just have to test and see, because the amount of vegetables sometimes waters down the flavour, so this may not be enough. I don't have any chicken broth defrosted at the moment, it's all in the freezer. And so when I do that, because it happens sometimes, I use a broth powder. So it's a chicken broth powder. It is fully organic chicken broth. So I'm going to put a tablespoon of the broth powder in with my sauce and half a cup of water. Might be a little bit more than half a cup. So that is my sauce. So I've got tamari, tomato paste, broth. Now you can add some sweetener there, so you might like to add a little bit of honey if you like. So I'm going to pour this in with my veggies. Alright, so now we can pour our sauce flavourings straight on top. So it's completely up to you how much seasoning you put in or how much liquid you want there. In the lettuce cup, sometimes it's better if it's not too runny. If you were serving it with cauliflower rice, for instance, and you're just eating it with a spoon, then you can have a little bit more sauce. Put in a little bit more stock and have it a little bit more soupy. But this one, I'm just having it so it's just coated in the sauce. So in the recipe, you'll find sometimes people put tapioca flour or corn flour in with that sauce. That would be to just help thicken the sauce, and it might just coat the meat a little bit and the veggies a little bit better. Always taste. Where's my spoon? That needs more. So I'm going to use fish sauce. So I'm going to have a tablespoon of tamari and a tablespoon of fish sauce. Add it a little bit at a time. I know how much fish sauce I like, so you might start with just a teaspoon or so. This is when you would add extra chili as well if you are a chili fan. Another thing you could add is Chinese 5-spice. That adds a nice flavour as well. So the flavours I love in this is the ginger and garlic. They really come through. It's really tasty, sort of all combined together. It's beautiful. So just before serving, I like to do a little swizzle of sesame oil over the dish, and a squeeze of lemon juice is also really nice. So let's just... It's good to not cook that off too much, you lose the flavour. And we've got some lemon. I squeeze it into my hand to catch the pips. I have here my lettuce cup ready to plonk it in. So there you go, there's my lettuce cups that I will devour in a minute. It's good to let it cool down a little bit, the mince, so that you can handle the lettuce cup quite nicely. So that is it. It is the perfect little morsel for little hands to grab onto, drop it all over themselves. They don't care, so you shouldn't either. But there's a load of veggies in there, some beautiful flavours. You can add whatever you want to it at all, so it's completely up to you. Such a versatile recipe, a good way to get rid of the veggies out of the veggie bin that need to be eaten up, and a bit of fun as well. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you did, then click subscribe so you find out when I'm doing new recipes, when I drop in new recipes. I hope you enjoy nourishing yourself with this beauty and nourishing your family as well. Enjoy.